Hello and welcome to New Fast Food. We've got a lot to talk about today, including the Sourdough King is finally introduced nationwide with a few surprises. Happy Hour is back at Starbucks with a twist, a brand new entree from Panda Express, and much, much more. I cover fast food news twice a week. If that interests you, please consider subscribing. With that, let's get started. Burger King was caught testing their new Sourdough King burger all the way back in October. And we've actually seen it pop up a couple of times now. Most recently being tested as a little bit variation on it, the jalapeno Sourdough King. So we knew this has been coming for a while, but they now have finally introduced the Sourdough King nationwide. You can go get it at Burger King's nationwide. You see it here, it's kind of similar to a Sourdough Jack. Kind of switched out the tomatoes for the onions, but overall, I mean, it's a sourdough burger. And of course, it's sold as the standard version is the double. And actually, Burger King's been doing this with all of their new burgers lately, where they introduce the standard version as the double burger, and then you can order the single version if you ask for it. This is, this is different than normally at restaurants. They'll introduce the single version, and then you can order the double version by paying a little bit more. So it's actually sort of a different take on the strategy from Burger King. I think it's probably going to be a successful one. It's going to get people to order more double burgers than they would have in the past. The logic here is that most people are going to buy the standard version of the burger. So if you make the standard version, the higher priced version, you're going to make more money than if you would have made it the single version, the standard version, and then bank on people doing that upgrade to the extra patty. So it's a little bit of a money grab, it would seem, but it must be working out for them because they continue to do it with all their new burgers that they have been releasing lately. And of course, Burger King is no stranger to sourdough burgers. They've had plenty of sourdough burgers on their menu in the past. They just haven't had one on their menu recently, so this is sort of a pretty big new introduction for them with the sourdough bun. I prefer burgers on sourdough buns, so I'm very happy to see this returning to Burger King. You'll be able to substitute in a sourdough bun on any burger for a little upcharge. The big surprise that Burger King laid onto us with this announcement wasn't the Sourdough King. We pretty much had seen that testing for a while. But the big surprise was they also introduced 3 breakfast versions of their sourdough burgers. Sourdough sandwiches. So they're 3 breakfast sandwiches on sourdough bun. So you see them here. They got the smoked double bacon, the smoked double ham, and the savory double sausage. So these are pretty big breakfast sandwiches. Pretty similar. Jack in the Box has the loaded breakfast sandwich. Pretty similar to those. Those also come on a sourdough bun. And interesting here, we just talked about how Burger King has been introducing all the new burgers as double burgers. You notice here, all of these breakfast sandwiches are also double. You got double bacon, double ham, double sausage. So no word here on whether you can order the breakfast sandwiches as singles. So that'd be interesting to find out. Can you get a single sausage sourdough sandwich for a little bit less than the double? I'd be curious. So let me know what you think. Have you tried the new Sourdough King? Are you gonna try any of these new sourdough breakfast kings? Let me know down below. Next up, Starbucks is bringing back their popular happy hour promotion. They've been doing this since 2010. They usually bring it back as we get closer to summertime. Now there's quite a bit different about the happy hour promotion this year, in that normally Starbucks' happy hour only applies to Frappuccinos. So this year they're expanding the promotion beyond Frappuccinos, and they're also making it so that they're saying it's by invitation only. Meaning that you have to receive an email or receive a message within the Starbucks app to take advantage of the happy hour for that day. So this is a pretty big change, and they say it's invitation only, but I'm pretty sure that everybody who's on the email list or has the Starbucks app is gonna receive an invite. It's not like they're gonna pick 1,000 people every day and you're the only people that get happy hour. I think that pretty much if you're on their list, you're going to be invited. The reason why I say that is because in order to redeem it, all you need to do is you get the email with the coupon code, you tell the barista that you have it, and they ring it in. They're not checking your ID or scanning your app or anything like that. So happy hour has already started at Starbucks. They had the first promotion yesterday. It was for a half off espresso. So if you're into Starbucks and getting deals, happy hour is back. The happy hour starts at 3 p.m. It goes from 3 to 5. And the lines get pretty long during happy hour, so I would recommend getting there a little bit early, before 3 o'clock, to take advantage of the happy hour promotions. Next up, let's talk about Panda Express. Just about a month ago, McDonald's brought back the Szechuan sauce to appease the rabid fans of the Szechuan sauce, and so now Panda Express is bringing back Samurai Surf and Turf for all the fans of Samurai Surf and Turf. Well, not exactly, but they are introducing a new item that's called the Wok Seared Steak and Shrimp, which is basically exactly the same thing as the Samurai Surf and Turf that they had on their menu back in 2013. The one difference between the two entrees is that the old Samurai Surf and Turf had green beans, whereas this new Wok Seared Steak and Shrimp swaps that out for snap peas. So it's got steak, shrimp, veggies, including snap peas, potatoes, and a Chinese-inspired steak sauce. So yeah, really close to the old Samurai Surf and Turf entree. If you were a fan of that limited time entree, get to Panda Express, because it's almost twin brother. The new Wok Seared Steak and Shrimp is on the menu now. It's part of their Wok Smart healthy menu they have at Panda Express. It's only 230 calories, which coincidentally is exactly the same amount of calories that the old Samurai Surf and Turf had. So yeah, those entrees are pretty much the same. Alright, now let's get into some fun stuff. I'm really excited about this next story. You may remember I reported a little over a month ago that Subway has introduced a new loyalty program to replace their older loyalty program. So the new loyalty program, surprise, surprise, was worse than the old one. The old loyalty program, for every $50 that you spent, you got a free 6-inch sandwich. Under the new loyalty program, for every $50 that you spend, you get $2 off anything on the menu. So $2 is not going to buy you a 6-inch sandwich, so the loyalty program got quite a bit worse. So there's a data tracking company called YouGov who basically is constantly sending out surveys and tracking information on consumers. So one of the questions that they ask is, would you consider going to Subway for your next meal? I'm paraphrasing here, that's not the exact question, but pretty much, would you consider going to Subway for your next meal? And so they track the responses over time, and you see the graphs here, and I'll show you the general public first. So you see the general public, it was tracking down, and then it got to the point where they announced the new loyalty program. The general public found out, heard about the new loyalty program somehow, and all of a sudden, interest in Subway went up. People started considering Subway for their next meal, okay? Now that's the general public, just anybody that they survey. So now now in this next graph, it's narrowed down to people who already are Subway customers. These are people who have identified themselves that they frequently go to Subway. So first, before the loyalty program is introduced, you can see that the curve pretty much matches pretty close to the general public. There was kind of a downward trend, and then the new loyalty program is introduced, and boom, it splits off from where the general public went. People in the general public, they hear about the new loyalty program and they're excited about Subway. The people who frequently go to Subway, they hear about this new loyalty program and their interest starts going down. Especially as they get more and more into the loyalty program and maybe earn their first reward from it. They're noticing that the loyalty program is not as good anymore, so they are being less loyal to Subway. Their interest in going to Subway for the next meal is going down. So I thought this was fascinating. It basically shows that you can't pull the wool over people's eyes. People who are, especially your loyal customers, they see right through these changes and they can spot that, hey, this new program is not nearly as good as the old one. Which, by the way, the old one also had an incentive where if you didn't cash in on that $50 6-inch and kept saving until you hit the $75 mark, you got a free footlong. And so that, I mean, that's, when you consider that, this new loyalty program is by far a lot worse than the old one, and Subway's loyal customers have already caught on. And then next up, an update on something else that I covered a few weeks ago. These are the Pizza Hut sneakers, the Pie Tops 2. Remember, I was very critical of the way that they were distributing these. They basically, they give out a certain number to the press, and then they were putting 50 pairs available online. And I mean, I thought that was a terrible way to do it because it would not give pretty much anybody a chance to buy a pair. You know, those were going to be sold out so fast, no one would have a chance to buy them. And I was right. They sold out in 10 seconds. They sold out in 10 seconds. They sold each pair for $150. Now remember, back when I discussed this last time, I said probably a much better way to distribute these shoes would be to put them up for auction and give the proceeds to charity. And so I'm not saying that anybody who works at Pizza Hut watches these videos, but someone caught on to that idea because they saved 4 pairs. They're down to the final 4 pairs of Pie Tops, and they're putting those up for auction. They're going to give the proceeds to charity. It's benefiting the Literacy Project. So I guess it's good that they're at least doing that for 4 pairs, but they could have done that with all the pairs and raised a lot more money for the Literacy Project. And finally, I'm going to leave you with this. This is a mixtape that Wendy's dropped last week. It's a 5-song mixtape that they dropped on Spotify, and it's basically all the tracks are either dissing McDonald's or dissing the other fast food chains, or you know, just promoting their own deals. Like there's a whole song dedicated to the 4-for-4 deal, appropriately so. It's a very good deal, but I think it's worth a listen. It's actually getting rave reviews online. People are pretty happy with this mixtape. It's a pretty high quality. Take a listen for yourself. I'll throw a link or something so you can get to it. The Wendys Mixtape. The mixtape is called WeBeefin. Okay, so that's enough out of me. Now it's up to you to continue the conversation down below. Let me know what you think about any of the stories we talked about today, whether it's the new line of Sourdough Kings, including those new breakfast versions, the new entree that they've got at Panda Express, happy hour coming back at Starbucks. What do you think about the changes that they've made to that? And then the loyalty program at Subway. Are you as fascinated by me that they actually track this kind of stuff and it's showing that the loyal Subway customers are not happy with the new program because it's worse than the old one? Let me know. I find that incredibly fascinating. Thank you very much for watching. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. We talk about fun stuff like this twice a week. I do new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and you can watch more right now.